Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Kevin sent me notes, and Steve, check out this story. It involves some very large numbers from thehill.com. Defense contractor Raytheon to pay almost $1 billion for defrauding the DoD, the Department of Defense. Ellen Mitchell wrote this. Raytheon, part of parent defense contractor RTX, will pay more than $950 million to resolve Justice Department allegations that it defrauded the Department of Defense and paid bribes to a government official to get business in the country of Qatar, Qatar, Qatar. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've never been there. The company is accused of a major government fraud scheme involving defective pricing on certain government contracts and violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act and the Arms Export Control Act. And that was from a statement from the DOJ, Department of Justice. And just in case you're curious, there's actually a law that says that Americans cannot bribe foreign officials under certain circumstances to get contracts and so on. And so that'd be the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. The DOJ also said the company had violations in its implementing regulations and in the international traffic in arms regulations. Raytheon will enter into a 3-year deferred prosecution agreement in separate cases filed Wednesday in federal court in Massachusetts and New York. Company also agreed to hire independent compliance monitors to make sure they follow anti-corruption and anti-fraud laws. At the center of the allegations in the Massachusetts case are missile systems that Raytheon sold to the Department of Defense in 2011, 12, and 13, and the operation of a radar surveillance system in 2017. The company was accused of inflating its cost by $111 million in those deals. Raytheon allegedly lied to the Pentagon about the cost to build 3 Patriot missile batteries, with the Army agreeing to a $619 million contract. DOJ investigators unearthed a 2013 email in which Raytheon told the Pentagon the company's expected costs had increased when in fact they had gone down, causing the government to overpay by about $100 million. Many of us will remember that there were news reports years ago about misspending by the government. And you hear a story about how, the Air Force needed tools, and some companies selling them wrenches for $900 a piece when it turns out there's crescent wrenches. Or hammers for $1,000 a piece, just because they're the government's got money, we can overcharge them. And when it got exposed, it caused all kinds of problems. But this is a little different and more complicated because, as you can imagine, a Patriot missile battery costs a bit of money, and you can't exactly go shop around and say, how much do you guys sell them for? Okay, do you guys have them? How much? Hold on, let me make some more phone calls, put some feelers out there, see who else has got some out there that they could sell us. No, and these are complex systems. They're extremely expensive, and quite often there's one company that makes it. So the government will often say, we'll buy one from you. And these things are so expensive to build that they say, when we sell it to you, on the off chance that something goes haywire with our procurement process in constructing this thing, if our costs go up, we get to pass those costs along to you. And I don't want to get heavily into this, but think about all the stories of cost overruns in various fighter craft or aircraft situations where the government hires a company and says, build us these airplanes, jets, whatever. And halfway through the process, they go, by the way, guys, the cost to us has gone up. We got to pass it along to you. And by the time everything is said and done, the price has doubled or tripled because they say, we had all these things go up and, unexpected rises in the cost of materials and so on, whatever. So in 2017, Raytheon allegedly misled the Air Force about the costs that came with operating and maintaining a radar surveillance system to inflate the contract by $11 million. In the New York case, Raytheon was accused of gaining business from bribes paid to a high-ranking official in the Qatar Air Force from 2012 to 2016. Over the course of several years, Raytheon employees bribed a high-level military official there to obtain lucrative defense contracts and concealed the bribe payments by falsifying documents to the government in violation of the laws, including those designed to protect our national security, says U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York in the statement by the Department of Justice. And so, as you can imagine, if you had to bribe somebody to get their business, can you write that off in your taxes? It's a business expense, but it's illegal. Raytheon now owes money for penalties in the criminal cases, civil fines, restitution, and returned profits it gleaned from inflating the military contracts and business it got after making those bribes. Such corrupt and fraudulent conduct, especially by a publicly traded U.S. defense contractor, erodes public trust and harms the Department of Defense, businesses that play by the rules, and American taxpayers. Deputy Assistant Attorney General of the Justice Department's Criminal Division said in a statement, today's resolutions, with criminal and civil recoveries totaling nearly $1 billion, reflect the Criminal Division's ability to tackle the most significant and complex white-collar cases across multiple subject matters. And keep in mind that one of the reasons that they have made it illegal to bribe people in situations like this is that, let's suppose, there's a couple companies competing for business, and they're all making offers that seem to be competitive. And the least competitive offer gets the business because they bribed somebody. Well, that's anti-competitive, right? So RTX said in a statement that it is taking responsibility for the misconduct that occurred and is committed to maintaining a world-class compliance program, following global laws, regulations, and internal policies while upholding integrity and serving our customers in an ethical manner. That's a statement they gave the Associated Press. Now, keep in mind that for them to say that they've got a world-class compliance program really makes you wonder when they have officials allegedly bribing government officials of other countries. And so the fact that they're going to have to appoint an independent monitor to make sure they don't break the law kind of suggests that the government doesn't exactly think they've got that world-class compliance program. Because a world-class compliance program wouldn't require there to be a monitor watching your every move. An Assistant Attorney General of the Justice Department's National Security Division said that the resolution of the cases should serve as a stark warning to companies that violate the law when selling sensitive military technology overseas. So we do sell a lot of our stuff to other countries. Sometimes it comes back to bite us, but that's not really the issue here. The issue here is that they overcharged the government a lot of money and allegedly bribed officials in other countries. And that, of course, is a violation of the law. So you, again, can debate all you want, and some people are going to be saying, Steve, I don't think it would be wrong to bribe a government official of another country. Well, okay, but there's a law in the books here that says that is, in fact, against the law. So if you don't like the law, seek to change it. And before you say, but Steve, you know that that's not possible. Oh, laws get changed all the time, especially when gigantic entities with tons of money approach the problem and say, hey, we need this law changed. And guess who might be a player in that arena? Raytheon, a company that can go, oh, yeah, we'll pay $1 billion fine. Guess what? They probably have money to lobby if they wanted to. So I'm kind of surprised that they don't actually turn right around now and send lobbyists up to Capitol Hill and say, hey, can we get that foreign bribery thing removed? I mean, who really cares what happens over there? Even if it is Americans. If it happens over there, who cares? So Kevin pointed out that for a company like Raytheon, $950 million is probably similar to a rounding error in their accounting. They probably made so much money off these deals it doesn't even matter. But it is something. It is something. And it is an astounding number if you think about it. Close to $1 billion. So from thehill.com, Ellen Mitchell, defense contractor Raytheon, to pay almost $1 billion for defrauding the Department of Defense. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. The things that come to those who wait are usually the things left by those who got there first.